Hey. What's up, everybody? Long time no see. It's your boy Ron, aka Ron the Artist, coming to you live. And welcome to Ron's Recap. I'm here today to recap and review the TV show Chucky, the series, Season 2, Episode 3, titled Hail Mary. Hail Mary. Got my cards here. I really wanted to review this season at the top of it. But Chucky is a lot. Chucky is a lot on top of this episode, which was just so weird, y'all. I just could not grasp what the heck was going on. Chucky is a lot. Honestly, in spite of me really, being drawn to the show, or just not necessarily drawn to the show, but I'm engaged with it, and I'm just I can't look away, but I'm intrigued by it. I don't like Chucky. In the contrast to that, I do not like Chucky. I don't like Chucky. I don't like how he plays on children's innocence and then takes away everybody, the damn child. He takes away everybody the child loves. He kills them. He preys on these children. He manipulates them, takes advantage of their innocence, and then just kills everybody around that person if they don't do what he wants them to do, or whatever the case may be, his motive. And I just don't like that. I don't like that. But I will try my best to continue on reviewing this season, because it is a good show. I will tell you that it's a good show. I'm just not fond of the character and the character's tactics. In this weird ass episode, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing, the episode started with Jake being questioned by the father on where Chucky was, since the last time he saw Chucky, he had locked Jake and Chucky up in his office together, just, I guess, because, Jake broke into the office to get the doll, so he locked them in there together, to reflect on the sin that he just committed, and attempting to steal it. That being said, Chucky's gone now. He wanted Chucky to confess to the sins of taking Chucky. And he wanted Chucky to be back on his desk. And I'm just like, dude, you just don't even know what you're asking for. That the father is really asking for Jake to bring this damn doll back. And you just don't even know what you're asking for, because that damn doll is if that doll is at your front door, that's not that's gonna bring a whole lot of problems to your door. Death, to be honest. Death, misery, trauma, pain, you name it. It's going to bring chaos to your door. So, little does he know. So, that being said, he leaves the office. Got my cards here. It seems like one of them might be in the wrong order. Okay, put that over there. But so once Jake leaves the office, Chucky, goes back to his room or whatever, where he's tied up. Chucky's still tied up in the room, being monitored heavily by Devin, Nadine, which is Lexi's roommate, and Lexi, of course. Chucky's tied up on the wall, mouth tied up with a dirty sock, or whatever the case may be. And Chucky, at this moment, they're trying to figure out what is Chucky's motive. They done found this phone Chucky has, in his possession, just taking pictures, sending selfies, and texting somebody by the name of the General, reporting information to. And I'm wondering, who the heck could the General be? In my take, or in my opinion, the General is either Tiffany, the doll Tiffany, or, the head Chucky, wherever he may be, because he's got to be out there somewhere. If all these replicas of the head Chucky are out there in the world, there has to be that head Chucky out there somewhere out in the universe doing something. Either that or Tiffany, the doll Tiffany, which that is creepy by itself because you got the doll Tiffany and you have the actual real Tiffany, aka Jennifer Tilly. Weird. So regardless of the matter, Chucky isn't squealing. He isn't squealing. He isn't letting it be known what's going on. He isn't letting it be known that he has, what information he's reporting and what he's reporting or who he's reporting it to. So at that moment, they're like, all right, we got to interrogate him. So the interrogation began brutally. But Chucky still wasn't giving in after, they grabbed a knife to kind of harm him, cause him blood or whatever. Chucky is sick. Like, he laughed at that. Like, Chucky likes brutality. He likes seeing blood and killings and knives and his obsession. He is a real psychopath, which they revealed and spilled all on that in season 1. Which, sidebar, I feel like so far, season 1 hit harder than season 2 so far. And, Chucky is sick again. In the midst of that, Lexi is kind of having withdrawals, pills and drugs or whatever she's doing. She started shaking or whatever, and no bueno. So the next thing, class was in session as the nun teacher spoke about the Christ, or spoke about a picture of Christ on a painting that was pinned to the cross. It looked like maybe he was burning, or like maybe with like a red type of sensation to him. And it was an art piece, I guess. And she spoke about it, how controversial it was because Jesus had never been depicted in that manner. Jesus Christ had never been depicted in that manner, burning or whatever the case may be. She also mentioned pain and sorrow as that was depicted in the painting, which kind of struck, Jake in a way where he felt like, okay, the pain and sorrow, pain and sorrow, I feel it. So after the class let out, the teacher approached Jake, to see, his take on the lecture, because he seems to be engaged in the lecture. And she assured him that she's assured him that Sister Mary Catherine, I'm sorry, not Sister Mary Catherine, I think her name is Sister Catherine, the nun teacher. Yes, she assured him that she's there to talk. She's there to talk, and Devin claimed he's sick in response to being, the surveillance for Chucky at the moment. So she mentioned that, and she was like, maybe that could be why he's sick, because you guys are really feeling guilt and trauma due to what you guys have seen and witnessed with, Jake's foster brother, correction. His foster brother, and she assured him that she's there to talk if ever needed. And she seemed genuine. I like her. She seemed genuine, and she asked about, his foster brother. If I didn't make that point already, she asked about his foster brother. She asked about the foster brother and made a point, forgiving sin. This damn school, this Catholic school, this church-like school, whatever going on, they often talk about sin. Like, like that kills me. They often talk about sin, and we're human. We all sin. Like, okay, moving on. Next thing, Lexi popping pills again. Fiending. Having withdrawals. As soon as she gulped the pill at the water fountain, she was approached by her ex-bully friend, Trevor, now recurring. And he caught her. He's obviously on vengeance. on the fact that her and her mom sent him away and have him in that school until he turns 18. Caught her with the prescription bottle with her mom's name on it, questioned her about it, informed her that she's not supposed to have the prescription bottle, as the prescriptions are the typical prescriptions are kept by the school. She proceeded to slightly interrogate, or he proceeded to slightly interrogate her, like, oh, I caught you. This is a sin. If you're caught, this and that could happen, or if this speculation, just being an asshole, pretty much grilling her so far. And yeah, she's pretty much carrying an unprescribed prescription, and he caught it. He also dropped the bomb on her about her mom losing the mayoral race and that she didn't know about. He said that all too calm. That son of a gun is also a little off. Like, you can tell he's been through chaos in the doggone school, or like he's unhappy there, or like just playing along with what's going on, playing along to the game, playing the game of that school, to potentially get out when he needs to get out, but he clearly doesn't like it there, or he's not happy there, So, like I said, he said that also calm and sarcastically, and warning her to be careful with that prescription before she gets caught with it and have to stand there until she's 18. She brushed him off, whatever, I don't care, leave me alone, and that was that. So the next scene went back to Devin in the room. It went back to Devin in the room, allegedly sick, but of course surveilling Chucky again. And Chucky was still tied down, of course. Chucky was still tied down with Devin's sock in his mouth, making tons of noise. That type of energy. Devin then went over, to relieve him for a moment to see what Chucky had to say. Chucky challenged Devin, like, oh, you don't have any clean socks, and, challenged Devin to kill him. Kill him as he was like, he knew Devin didn't have it in him, and reminded Devin that he killed his mom, which was foul as hell. Reminded Devin that he killed his mom, and Chucky killed his own mother, so he's like, I know what death looks like. I know somebody that looks like they have it in them to kill. So he kind of went in. And really challenged him, and Devin was ready to risk it all. Which, again, that was the last straw for him. And just as Devin went to go get the knife, Chucky's blade that he usually, has, Jake entered the room and interfered, saving the bell. Next was the scene with Nadine, Lexi's roommate. She went to see Father Molly, which I guess is like the priest of the school, to talk and confess, about her week. But that man clearly was not for it. He was determined to get up out of her presence, and he wanted nothing to do with her. He wanted her to leave, and he seemed very uninterested in whatever she had to say. So, kept pushing her away, not interested, even though she kept pulling him in, like his energy, like, hey, I really need to confess. I need to tell you about my week. He's like, see you tomorrow. So he aborted mission and got up out of there. But Nadine is a little weird, too. Nadine is a little weird. I'm sure within the season, we're going to find out more about her, because we don't know too much about her, but we do know she's there in that school for a reason. We know she's in that school for a reason. I don't want to give you a spoiler as I'm about to say, but she revealed some other things coming up. But I would like to know a little bit more about her. So, the next scene was back to Devin and Jake, where Devin is wanting to kill Chucky again, but Jake is determined to find out Chucky's plan first, at least, which is smart. Like, well, who are you reporting to? Why? Who are you reporting to and why are you reporting what's going on? So that's when Devin sarcastically thought of this plan to brainwash Chucky and reprogram him. But Jake actually thinks that may work, because that was a good idea. So the plot began as they went to inform Lexi. Later that night, as time passed on, Jake, Devin, Lexi, and Nadine then started their attempt to brainwash Chucky. They attempted to brainwash Chucky. They had his eyes wide open and like with pins or whatever, still tied up against the wall while turning on scary movies, weird movies. Meanwhile, testing different methods of movies out, like a marathon for him to just watch nonstop without a blink. To, brainwash him and turn him to flip his mind or whatever, control him. Again, they tested many methods, which eventually worked, as he puked several times, ill, like all over the TV, like all over himself, ill. So as time went by, sunrise came. They turned on the last cartoon that they turned on. Nadine turned on like this unicorn situation. And unicorn cartoon, that seemed like it worked, and we reprogrammed them. And at that moment, all I could think was like, let the games begin. Now that they've reprogrammed them, what is really about to happen? Like, is this really, about to happen? So, after that, we went on commercial, came back, and Chucky appeared to be happy and loopy. Like, hi guys, want to play? Like, very happy and too nice. This is when it get weird. That's when the episode gets weird, because he seemed very nice. I just thought like, huh? Chucky nice? So again, pretty much brainwashed after that moment, not knowing much. They asked him, like, why did he come to the school? Who he's reporting to. He didn't know that. He didn't remember that. So they went to huddle up. The group went to huddle up, and Chucky came crashing on the floor, loose from the ropes that they had him tied in, by himself, to kind of tie or dust off somebody's shoe. And that was weird too. I'm like, okay, what the heck? Because the original Chucky, as we know, if he gets loose from them doggone ropes like that, in the midst of that, and he fell to the floor, he was coming to hurt somebody. Flat out. He revealed that the ropes came loose when he was watching the last cartoon, which also let to be known that he probably has turned, because if them ropes came loose while they were sleeping, he would have easily got out or done something chaotic to them. Flat out. So, again, like, got loose, got to talking to them, sitting down like a little happy little kid, and eventually, hungry, wanting something to eat. Like, which again was weird. When have we ever seen Chucky eat anything? He wanted something to eat. And like, at this moment, his energy changed. Like, you could damn near hug this doll. Like, happily hug this doll with like no repercussions. Like, Chucky is the doll that you don't want to hug, but you would want to hug this nice little character at this point. So, Devin pretty much, not for this energy. Not knowing what to do about the situation, Devin stormed out of the room out of frustration. He stormed out of the room out of frustration. Jake followed. And Lexi didn't want, to stay in the room with Chucky by himself. At all, alone. Leaving Nadine alone with Chucky. And this knife. Weirdo and another weirdo. Okay. You following me? Okay. They left him there while he remained in his loopy space. So at this point, he's probably not going to do any harm. Can't. Jake caught up to Devin on the stairs, and Devin is extremely concerned about not wanting to trust Chucky. He's not wanting to trust Chucky in this state or whatever's going on. He just want to kill them and take them out because he's done so much harm to all of them, their lives, and it's just like we can't afford to keep taking losses with this Chucky doll, the spirit. And I agree, like, even though you maybe have reprogrammed him, have got some results, like Chucky can't really be trusted. So now that he's shifted, like that leaves him in a weird space to how to, move. But Jake, made Devin promise not to do anything to Chucky, as Jake wants to try a different approach to Chucky, such as this whole sin and forgiving talk that's been talked upon Jake. Devin agreed, and they kissed each other, and it appeared that the father saw them kissing in that stairwell. He was watching them from afar. He saw the kiss, and I'm just like, oh my God. Now let the games begin again. More games are going to begin in this Catholic Church. They already preach it, and their favorite word is sin. Sin, sin, sin. They love to talk about scriptures and sin, sin, sin. So they have just peeped the sin. How is the Father going to handle this? So I'm like, what is really going on? What is about to happen? What is about to happen? Because this is a bit much. More problems are bound to start. So the next scene went to Lexi, searching for medicine. That girl was about to break into a medicine cabinet in that doggone nun's office. Like searching for medicine and got caught as a nun, came up behind her. But she was able to, cover herself as Lexi, does. Claiming she needs an aspirin. She pulled it off. And she needed aspirin for a headache, and she got it and left. But of course, we know Lexi was needing that to snort, do drugs. And again, Lexi is a lot. Lexi is a lot too, but it explains with her bully Trevor. Lexi has the one that's been so grown acting, and that has led her in this situation because she's been so grown acting and just doing the utmost. And that's what attracted Chucky to her, by being a bully. And you doing the utmost, and Chucky was coming after you in response to Jake. And that you got reeled in from there. Sorry about it, but you kind of wrote that check, though. So, the next scene, Lexi leaving. And, of course, she was greeted and found by Trevor on her way out, who attempted to blackmail her by wanting her to answer to him as being her higher power, whatever the hell that means. To do whatever he wanted. And threatening to, make her life a living hell. As he said, I will make your life a living hell if you don't do what I say. And just as he thought he won, she let him know that, dude, I learned from you. I'm a bully as well. That little girl that you once knew and that you was able to bully and get away with, she is no longer. She is no longer. So try me. And again, just as he thought he was going to succeed, she let him know how dirty she can play and can be. So just as that nun probably in the nurse's office came up with 2 students, she made the accusation no, Trevor, I don't know where any condoms are. The nun heard it and was like, Trevor! Came over to dissect that. In trouble at that point. Pretty much framed him like he was looking for condoms and caught. She told you, but you didn't believe her. You still thought that you had the upper hand in this situation. And Lexi told you that, dude, I'm not that same person. Try me. So the next scene after that was of another doll. And a package being delivered. Of a rectangle-shaped box. Of course, which we know that rectangle-shaped box. Another doll being delivered to the school. And all I could do was shake my head. And I'm just like, OMG, this is never going to end. There's so many dolls steady being delivered to this house. WTF. After that, the next scene was the father, waiting for Devin to then ask him about being sick, as he has already seen him and Jake in the hallway, didn't appear to being sick. He asked him about being sick and making a few references guilt, about guilt and sin again. Eventually making Devin go to the chapel for punishment or whatever. Next was Nadine telling Chucky her life story. She's back in the room telling Chucky her whole life story, and he was so receptive to it all and just happy to hear about it and all of it. Meanwhile, Jake and Lexi return with an apple for Chucky, and Chucky seems so happy to have it and eat it. I'm like, oh, cannot be like Chucky real deal was eating. Like Chucky and was so happy to have the apple and crazy. And during that moment, Jake realized that Devin was missing, and Jake instantly got worried, like, where's he at? And then he also realized he had to go to class, and Nadine also realized she had to go to class. So that would leave Lexi with the doll, reluctantly, with this happy Chucky doll, which she is clearly, at that moment, not used to and just still freaked out. So they had to leave her there alone. Jake went to go find Devin in the chapel on cleaning duty. Yet Devin's still not agreeing to Jake's decision to, keeping him, to keeping the Chucky and not, keeping him alive without repercussions and not realizing the depths that it has on all of them by keeping Chucky alive and not taking advantage to seize this opportunity of killing Chucky. And honestly, whether they kill this Chucky or not, they know more Chuckies are out there. So I'm like, I don't know. At this moment, I'm still not convinced that Chucky is turned, but Chucky is loose. Chucky is loose from no ties, no nothing, and he really seemed grateful to have the apple and just happy to hear stories and talk and different. Again, weird. So the next scene, Chucky back in the room with Lexi, happily asking Lexi questions randomly about her life. But it was the one where he asked about her having a boyfriend, which she killed last season, or, got in his head and made him kill his dad and family members, all that. And she asked about a boyfriend, like, do you have a boyfriend? And she told him that I had one. And that triggered her. The thought of Junior. And Chucky nicely reacting and responding to that threw her all the way off. To the point where she left Chucky in the room. Like, that threw her all the way off, him asking and being clueless about what he's done with her life and Junior. And that threw her off, and she left and feared and ran. And again, another part of a withdrawal. Like, she just kind of got, like, so weirded out. And Lexi needs therapy, honestly. Lexi needs therapy. Lexi needs therapy. Lexi needs therapy. And as soon as she realizes that, the better. In a rehab center. Now, I don't think she realized that just yet, but she needs to get to it. So she left Chucky in the room by himself, which should have been a no-no when they're not even quite, like, convinced that he is completely turned. So the next thing, Nadine making her way back to confess her sins to the priest, where she spoke about Lexi being addicted to drugs. She knew that in reference to watching her mom being addicted to drugs, but yet hasn't called her out on it, and realizing it, again, from her mother's case. So that was what I was referring to earlier, is that we know now that her mom, Nadine, Lexi's roommate, we know now that her mom was a drug addict, and she saw that. And maybe that kind of, she feels for Lexi in a way because of that. She also mentioned Chucky to them about a live doll, as this priest is on the other side of this little, I don't know what they call that in the Catholic Church, where you're confessing your sins to, the priest, and you're sitting in a box with like a a scream from the both of you guys, but she mentioned Chucky to him, and the man had an alcohol canteen. He is so careless and just out of it. Like, that man is something else. You are a priest in this doggone church. Let it go, sir. So, in the midst of that, he blew it all off, being careless about it again. And what do you know? Chucky appeared behind him with a beaded necklace and choked him to death. And at that moment, I'm like, see, what? Chucky's supposed to be good. What happened? And I'm just like, this is bad. So after he killed him, Chucky continued the conversation with her and left the priest dead. Left the priest dead in the box. In that box. And I'm just like, Chucky is back at it again. Y'all left him unattended. And there's potentially another, Chucky doll in his house. What the hell is going on? So after that, Nadine, happily walking up to her room, praying, singing, whatever she's doing, to herself out loud or something. I don't know. She was, maybe it was praying or like a sing-along, but she was like chanting as she was walking back to her room. Meanwhile, she found Lexi in the bathroom having a withdrawal moment. Lexi's last pill fell in the drain. That pushed her over the edge, of course. Meanwhile, the scene kind of cut to Devin aimlessly cleaning through, like a glass cup or a trophy cup or whatever. Something like you would see in like the Bible, or you would see like Jesus drinking wine from, or something like that, one of those type of glasses. And again, Lexi dropped the last pill, spiraled her. Nadine, continuing her singing. And she ran into, she went back to her room to realize that Chucky is gone. And that's when she went to go find Lexi and the others to report that. And yeah, like at that moment, like Chucky is gone. Chucky is gone. Chucky is gone. Like, what can we do? Chucky is gone. He's in his house loose, and we don't know for sure if he's good. So the next scene with the father questioning Jake's teacher, what, Sister Catherine, about Jake and Devin, if she knew about Jake and Devin. In addition to her, getting the take on their punishment as he has planned or and is doing, until Jake barging in that moment in the conversation, demanding he let Devin off of cleaning duties, as Devin didn't do anything wrong. Not knowing the topic of discussion that they were currently talking about, the father had scriptures ready. Oh, come to my office, we'll talk about it. Had scriptures ready and offered to take him to the office, but Jake wasn't having it. Still not having a clue of what he's talking about. And with the tip he came in, and the father ended up throwing the ball at Sister Catherine, like, yeah, ask her if she knows all about sin. Like, I guess that's something that needs to come out as well. A story of Sister Catherine and a story of Nadine I would like to know more about. So, again, Jake not knowing what they were talking about and throwing the ball like Catherine afterwards. It was crazy. So, again, once Nadine found Lexi in the bathroom. Once Nadine found Lexi in the bathroom stall suffering, Lexi came out of the stall to vent to Nadine, getting all of her worries and everything of what's going on, off her chest, releasing her burdens. Between Devin and Jake fighting, Chucky, the presence of Chucky, now Trevor on her back, her mother, and all her inner demons, just as a lot, and she's overwhelmed. And honestly, during that moment, she really realized that Nadine is more than just a roommate to her. I realized that, and I think the viewers realize that Nadine has become a friend to her. Honestly, she doesn't have any women in her life or young girls like her in her life to like that are friends. So Nadine has become that to her. And that's great to see and hear. And Nadine knows about Chucky. So she can really talk to her. So, through it all, through that conversation, Nadine just supported and uplifted her. And again, she showed that she really is a friend to her. And went on to the next scene. The father went back to his office to find a Chucky doll sitting on his desk. Which, remember, at the beginning of the episode, that he requested that it be back on his desk and he wasn't going to wait long, that he said. Afterwards, he went to go find Devin, release Devin from cleaning duties, since he had the doll back on his desk, which I guess that was what he was making Devin suffer for in the first place. Sin, regret, and other people's stuff. I can't with that doggone father. That father is already starting to make my ass itch, if I'm going to be brutally honest. Like, ooh, this is only going to get worse for Jake and Devin, especially with their relationship. And now that it's known that they're a couple, I can't wait to see how that's going to, unravel, but it's coming. So once he let Devin know that Chucky doll was back, Devin was in shock. Like, wait a minute, are you sure? Like, he, mind you, Devin wants to take the doll out, and then the doll is now on his desk. Like, what's really going on? And they all know that putting that doll back on his desk is not safe. You cannot let Chucky run around that damn school willy-nilly like that. So the next scene, getting closer to the end of the episode, where Trevor is now released from whatever punishment that maybe, was put on him, going into Lexi's room, looking for her, going into Lexi's and Nadine's room, looking for a get back, more than likely. As they weren't there, so he went to go plot and leave a stash of pills in her desk. And literally, he got an unexpected visit from Chucky. In the midst of him doing harm and on some snake stuff, got an unexpected visit from a doll, out of the blue, a live one. And what do you know? Chucky took him completely out. Chucky bitch slapped him, took him completely out, like heart, intestines, inside, like bloody, brutally. Chucky loves knives. This wasn't that kind of situation. Chucky kind of really, I don't know what tool he used, but he took that man's heart and insides out here. Oh, it was horrible to watch. It was horrible to see. Like, Nadine and Lexi came back to their room to see Trevor dead on their floor. Shortly after, that moment where they're in shock, and Nadine now realizing the depths of Chucky, Devin and Jake joined, and to see this, like, oh my God, Chucky is gone. What's going on? They're trying to make sense of it all, and why Lexi left Chucky by himself in the first place. And that's on her, honestly. That's on her, because she did that. She did that. That was her fault. That was absolutely her fault for leaving him unattended. So, in the midst of that, there was an unexpected room inspection. So, Trevor knew what he was doing. He plotted those pills. He had those pills ready to, be planted in Lexi's room to frame her. And sure enough, it was an inspection. And he got caught by Chucky doing that and cost him his life. So, now, there was an unexpected, inspection. And they also are still trying to make sense of if the doll that they just, Chucky doll, is now in the father's office, how did he kill Trevor? A lot, right? It's like, what it is there's one confirmed doll in the house and another one that they don't know about in the house, which they're going to know soon enough. Can't wait to see that unravel as well. So, with that inspection, the nun is coming looking in their rooms while a dead body remains on their floor. They hid the blood. The body. They hid it all. They hid the body along with Jake and Devin in the closet. They hid the blood underneath a blanket while Lexi and Nadine sat on it, and Nadine did a great job of distracting the nun to make her not look in the closet. And the possibilities of that room, like, if that nun had looked in that doggone closet to see not only Jake and Devin in that room and that dead body, oh my God, I don't even know what would have happened. I don't know what would have happened, how that would have went, and I don't know. But the possibilities were endless. So the last scene pretty much, who was in the father's office was the good Chucky doll. Then that last scene was the good Chucky doll, the brainwashed Chucky doll, the happy Chucky doll was in the father's office on his desk, living his happy life. You know, when the new cockstrong / bodybuilding Chucky who killed Trevor came in the room. Like, and his voice was deep too. And he came in the room threatening, you know, this new Chucky. This new Chucky that already doesn't know much but happiness. And all of a sudden he came in this room like, see, that moment was weird as hell to me, because there's two Chuckies in this room. Like, there's two Chuckies in this church, this house, whatever, this cathedral. There's two Chuckies in there, in this school. One is now brainwashed and happy and living his best life. The other one just got in the house. Cockstrong, deep voice, and a brutally murderous killer. And he just barged in on this doggone happy Chucky. Chucky was thinking that Jake was coming in the room, and sure enough, it was this cockstrong, evil Chucky. Like, yeah, Jake is on my list too, but until then, you're about to be handled in dead meat. And this doggone Chucky, happy Chucky, doesn't know much. I hope he can defend himself or whatever the case may be, but it's about to get real. And it's like, again, weird. So my final thoughts on that, it turns out that the new brainwashed Chucky was in office, and the loose one is the one that killed Trevor. And it's just a lot. Chucky dolls on the loose, Chucky dolls on the loose, Chucky dolls on the loose. It's a good show, again, but it's getting creepy. SyFy, this Chucky series, this season, it's getting creepy. That episode was creepy. Weird, and I don't know what else to say. Like I said, it's a good show. I'm intrigued. It's like a show that I can't, like, turn my head from, but I'm watching. But at the same time, it's like, where are we going with this? With that episode, I don't know what's to happen with the next episode. So, yeah. What are they going to do with Trevor's body? How are they going to cover that up? What is the father going to do about Jake and Devin now that he knows that they're a couple? Sister Catherine. What's her backstory? What is Nadine's backstory? What the hell is Lexi going to do with this drug addiction? Pills, popping, weed, smoking. It's a lot. I don't know where we're going to go. But again, I'm intrigued. I'm going to watch the next episode. And I'm going to do my best to review the next episode. But just know that it's a lot. So until then, guys, next week it is. See you next week, guys. Peace.